Mike Callahan had a question submitted earlier today. What is the best way to use a CRM such as Service Autopilot to go out and get commercial plowing customers? This same process is what we do for commercial and HOA residential lawn care. So if you're watching this, it's not particularly just a snow removal, but in my lawn care company, Callahan's Lawn Care, we've created a pretty streamlined process to actually do this. So what we've actually done is gone out in the estimate vehicle, similar to this, with a RAM mount and either a Google Chromebook or a laptop. And we've went out and bought about a $200 to $250 wireless mobile printer. And the process is actually going in to the Maps Pro feature and measuring the property on satellite while you're actually sitting in the parking lot. Because with commercial snow removal, there can be a lot of things that may not show up on the actual satellite. Other reason being is we are potentially a cold call scenario. So what we're going to do is go in the parking lot, measure the property, pull up our pre-built template, and get our pricing for each type of equipment that we're doing and segment out whether it's snow plowing, sidewalk work, or salting of the parking lot. Same exact process for lawn care. We'll go in and measure all the beds, anything we can see on the satellite. It's just a lot easier when we're there in person for a large property. Next process is we have a pre-built template that loads the actual estimate. We'll go out and actually print the estimate in our mobile printer and put it in a actual 4-color folder. And then once we'll actually go in as a cold call and try to get past the gatekeeper to find the decision maker. And once we've gotten to that decision maker, we're going to basically hand them over the physical estimate. If we hit the gatekeeper and we can't get to the decision maker, what we'll do is hand off that bid sealed in an actual first-class envelope, and we'll write their name on it. Second step to that is going in and getting the business card or the contact information for the key decision maker. Usually when you're in person, there's less resistance. A lot of times they'll give you that information and the correct information just to get you out of their office. So after we've done that, we will actually take the email and the phone number and go back into our CRM, which is Service Autopilot, enter that in, and then email the electronic copy to the decision maker. So it's a 2-step process, or actually 3-step process. We're going to roll up to the commercial property. We're going to measure it online, calculate the prices with the rate matrix, print it out. We're going to get the information that we can off of Google. This way, we're not driving back to the office and then driving back there to actually hand them the actual bid. We're giving them something physical. Then if we do not get through the gatekeeper, we're getting the key decision maker's name, email, and hopefully phone number. A lot of times it's really easy, surprisingly or not, because they want to get you out of that office. So get as much information as you can. Once you get that information, go back out to your sales car or truck, enter that in the Service Autopilot, and email that out. And in the email, you've got a pre-built template hopefully loading up, but you want to customize it a little bit. Like, hey, we were just there, talked to so-and-so in your office. We gave you a hard copy. Here's the email copy that they requested. And then once you have their email, you want to drop them into an automated follow-up to follow up with an email or a phone call, hopefully, throughout that process. We find as you're going out and actually doing an estimate follow-up in our 20 days to close process, a lot of people ask, well, Mike, what would you do in your business? So on day 1, after we drop off the estimate, we're going to have a phone call. Day 2, we'd follow up with an email. And then day 3, we'd follow up with a phone call. After that, it's an automated process via text or email. On a commercial property, text message is probably not a good option. You want to be professional and continue with that email correspondence. So that's how we handle it in person. We're going to capture the data, enter them in the system, drop it off physically, get the key person's information, and then enter it in the essay and fire off the electronic copy. So any comments, questions, drop them below. I want to say what's up to Matt Snyder down south of me in New York, probably getting ready for snowplow season as well. So glad to see it. And if anybody who's watching SA Weekly Talk Show coming up this Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, Mike Michalowicz of the new book coming out, Clockwork, also the author of Pumpkin Plan Surge, Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. So going to be an awesome SA Weekly Talk Show. Matt Snyder actually outbidding. So hopefully, buddy, you're out there with your Chromebook, your laptop, Wi-Fi connection, measuring those properties in person, going in, knocking on that door. And if you're not getting to the decision maker, grabbing that information, putting in the essay and printing it out with a mobile printer. So that's the way we've been doing it. It's helping close a lot of sales. And you got to keep in mind, as you're nurturing these commercial contracts, it could be a 3 to 5 year nurturing process. So get them into your automated system or even a manual process as far as to-dos, and remember to reach back out. Another big takeaway is if you're looking at these commercial properties, when everybody else is done plowing and going home and going to sleep, that's where the money can be made, is going out and seeing where your competitors are failing and making contact with the property manager when there is the pain point, when that other contractor hasn't cleared the sidewalks, they're not answering their phones. Get them into your CRM, such as Service Autopilot, tag them up with the tags. A lot of people ask, how do we use tags? Well, it could be 2018 plow customer that got plowed late commercial, whatever that is. And then we can do a save search on those tags. And then what I would recommend is go out and do this process in the spring before the rush hits. Get them that estimate for the following winter while the pain is still fresh, because right now we're going into September, October. People forget about the pains of the front of their parking lot being plugged because the town plow or the city plow came by. So go out, build that database, and work it while the pain is still in their mind. So hopefully that answers any questions. I've got a few more minutes here before I hop on my next consulting call and head inside. But if anybody has any questions live, drop them below. Otherwise, we'll see you this Thursday, 3 p.m. Central, with Mike Michalowicz's new book, Clockwork. He's also written the book Profit First, Pumpkin Plan, Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, and Surge. Just going to be an absolute knockout interview to help you grow and scale your business. The premises of Clockwork is basically to get your business to run like clockwork without you actually being in the actual business itself. And he basically is going to go over the 4 Ds of delegating and decision-making. So can't wait. Mike Michalowicz this Thursday. And until then, hopefully this was helpful. And Matthew Snyder, any tricks for cash flow, faster winter growth? Or any tricks for cash flowing, fast winter growth? So absolutely, Matthew. One of the big things, there's a Lawn and Landscape magazine article. I'll post a link to this after I go off. But we have a residential commercial mix. Matthew, I think from I remember at least, you have a similar situation. So we do something a little bit different in upstate New York, where we do unlimited trips for residential contracts. But the key is they're prepaid November 1st. So it's cash money in the bank. So we may get several $100,000 in the bank to cash flow the operations. We also do at least a one to two payment retainer required before we start plowing commercial work as well. So we want to get that money in the bank. We want to create that cash flow cushion, especially if we get hit with a big nor'easter, especially out on the East Coast, where we may be dropping $30,000 to $40,000 in payroll in a week. So get those prepayments for residential and offset them with a ratio that I'm going to supply in the article that shows you how we actually did it in my company, Callahan's Lawn Care. So great question. Cash flow is king in the winter. So, basically vary those contracts, whether they're retained or unlimited or per trip, and you want to make that balance so you've got cash in the bank before we start the season. So, Matthew, hopefully see you at SA5 coming up. Going to be November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I believe. The after party at the House of Blues only has about 24, 25 tickets left as of this morning. Absolute blast. So get to hang out with like-minded individuals, have a couple drinks if that's your thing, and learn from other business owners across the U.S., Canada, and maybe even Australia and England. I've met a few folks. So just an international event that is a knockout thing. So, absolutely. Prepay retainer, Matthew, is huge. Absolutely huge. And then you can use that to leverage some cash flow for the operation, especially depending where we're at. Matthew, we might be all right in upstate New York, but salt prices on a national level right now are through the roof. So if you're looking to get some cash flow, pre-buy your salt and stockpile before they run out of salt or the prices continue to go up. Highly suggest getting those prepaid retainers to go out and buy that ice melt and the sidewalk melt before the season gets going. So absolutely got to hop on a quick consulting call here with one of our Simple Growth clients. We're actually setting up Service Autopilot from the ground up. So you haven't bought it yet, reach out to us. We've got about a 7 to 10 day process where we set up 10 services for you: estimate description, invoice description, price matrix, all your employees, all your clients, your scheduling, your billing. We literally take Service Autopilot within 7 to 10 days and set you up as if you'd be using it for 5 to 6 years. We've actually had some current SA users that have actually either scrapped their app and allowed us to basically reinvent it. I don't want to say scrap it, but basically cleaned it up, or just literally wiped out the whole entire app and started from ground floor again. So if you're interested in that service, let us know. We've got different setup prices based on the standard version, the Pro version, or the Pro Plus, but nothing but raving reviews for everybody who's had that. And instead of learning 20 or 30 screens in SA, we simplify it down to the 4 or 5 screens for success. So until next week or later this week with Mike Michalowicz, we will see you soon.